Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. You know, the fun part about this whole show, doing this in Las Vegas and bringing on the different variations of business and music and entertainment, I have really a great life in Vegas, finding out what everybody does. Tim Zimmerman has been on my show a couple of times before, and he always has something very interesting to say and something new. Well, he just got really, really excited, and he said, Ninon, I got this new, really, really new. And I said, hang it a second. We got to wait. Tim, how are you?
I'm great.
You're looking wonderful.
Thanks again for having me.
I need to know, how do you keep your face with no lines? I mean, every year you get older. We all get older. We all get lines, but you don't. I want to know how.
It's called mindset.
Mindset.
That's what I coach people on.
You coach, as if we didn't know, but he does. And it's kind of, you know, I've often wondered why our mindset drifts and why we drift and why so many different things happen. And we seem to be very cruel to ourselves. We don't seem to understand that we are the person we have to really take care of first.
Correct.
None of us do that. Well, not none of us, I do it.
Right. Well, in many cases, people try to do it, but as we've talked about in previous episodes, it really comes down to how you were programmed as a child.
Yeah.
Right, from birth to 6 years old, and we also talked about in the womb. You know, you learn in the womb, but birth to 6 years old is when your belief system is implanted into you.
Captures everything, doesn't it?
It's implanted into you, typically from your parents and those people around. But we also talked about that their belief system was implanted into them from birth to 6 years old by their parents and their parents and their parents, all the way back to Adam and Eve or Noah, whatever you believe. We have a 6-year-old
Tim is going way back, but let's just come into the 2019 and sort of figure out, we've got a lot of different personalities in the world at the moment, but they're all having their own opinions, and it seems that because of the computer and because of the telephone, nobody is afraid anymore to say what they want to say, because they're not actually talking to a person, they're talking to a gadget. Sure. And so that gives them the freedom to say what they want to say, how they want to say it, and their feelings. And sometimes I think a lot of them are very confused as to what they're bringing out in the world that really harms them more than helps them.
Do you want to know why?
That's my question. He's very smart. He wants to know. Do I want to know why? Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Well, actually, this was a very important lesson that it took me a long time to learn, is that and it's a psychological fact, that what you like in other people, and I say this in class, how many of you believe or agree that what you like in other people is really a reflection of you?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone says
we
yes.
Attract.
Everyone puts their hand on yes. Then I say, and the other side of that coin is also true.
Because there's two sides to a coin, remember?
Anything that you don't like is a reflection of yourself. Yeah. So that was one of my big lessons, because as I grew up, and you know, my message is one of hope, that you can overcome all the stuff that happened to you. Having a father that was an alcoholic, being number 6 of 9 kids, getting beat up all the time, and you know, so on and so forth, which everyone has had stuff like that happen.
Whether it's 6 children, 2 children, 1 child, doesn't matter.
Right.
They've all had to bear something. Right.
And for the 95% of us that aren't supposedly making it, you know, they say that 95% of the population is making under $100,000 a year.
Well, that's probably true.
Right. So, depending upon your definition of success,
but you're now putting it on money.
Right. One of those things is money. So, if we were raised with lack and limitation and all of those types of negatives, that got implanted into us.
Correct.
From birth to 6 years old, and then from 5, 6 years old, when we go into kindergarten, first grade, go through the grades, we start making judgments about ourselves, the world, our place in the world.
And then 18, we're let free.
Well, actually, psychiatrists say that up to 20 years old, that's when our main consciousness is.
I would agree with that, actually.
implanted into what they call the neuroplasticity of the brain like plaster. And what happens is that first 20 years is what we're programmed with and what creates the rest of our life. I brought a little diagram.
I do believe in that a little bit, but I also do believe in change, because the world changes, everything changes. So I think the human beings are making that change. So I think, everybody, has this thing about, well, this is how I was brought up and this is what happened to me. Well, why can't you change and do what you like to do and how you like to do it? What makes you think that you've still got to stay along this road and you're blaming everybody else or somebody else of what's going on and not yourself? Right. And it's to do with you.
Right, and the reason why is because everyone tells them that they should change, but they don't tell them how to change.
Well, I don't know if we need to be told how to change. I think we should know how to change.
People don't know how to change.
They don't.
And what I've gone through for the last 40 years is searching for a way to affect change. And really, over the last 7 years, as you know, when I came up with a protocol came through me that actually goes into the unconscious, subconscious, and removes the negative stuff that's in there.
Yes.
Negative judgments, negative dramas, traumas.
Because it's always negative.
Anger, fear, worry, anxiety, hopelessness, helplessness, all of those things, and bad relationships, bad situations, patterns that keep on happening again and again, we can now go in and remove, and that's what I was really excited about. But let me talk about this, because everyone agrees on this, is that we have our conscious mind and our subconscious and unconscious. We're conscious of our full consciousness, we're only conscious of 5% of it, right? And
it's sad, isn't it?
And it's the 95% that got programmed from birth to 6 years old, and then from 5-6 years old to 20 from your parents, who were also programmed from 0 to 6, 0 to 6,
so everybody's been programmed, and we're taking on that program.
Right, and that's why history repeats itself.
No, because none of us change.
Exactly, because that's our base programming, and nobody knows the how to change until now. Now we've been trying to change all of the self-improvement stuff that I've been through for the last 40 years. The Dale Carnegie courses, which I taught all 5 of the Dale Carnegie courses. Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Tommy Hopkins, Tony Robbins.
Quite a list, huh?
Landmark education. Remember, I went to India, studied under 5 yogic masters, went through 5 Tibetan empowerments, 2 with the Dalai Lama, so on and so forth.
Tim Zimmerman is quite qualified. You're very qualified as to what you do, but also one thing, these are your thoughts. This is how you became a sponge and you picked up everything you wanted to pick up, which still means that from when you were born to 6 years old, you went through the same thing as everybody else.
Sure, and what I've been looking for is a way to overcome that stuff, and I found it, basically. So in the SM3 Success Training Program, in what we call phase 1, we're able to go into the unconscious, subconscious, and remove what I call weeds. So we actually
pull... Like weeding your garden, isn't it?
Pull the weeds from the root, and then we plant the polar opposite positive. And the real breakthrough happened mid-July. So I've been doing this phase 1 for 7 years, and it's fantastic for clients.
He's doing great. He always has done great. You're amazing.
Well, the big thing, it's not, for me it's great, because those things are no longer part of my consciousness, but for clients...
I was going to say, for you to teaching other people, you've kind of been able to get through yourself first,
right,
which is what you have to do, to get through yourself first and then be able to teach other people how you did it and how they can progress their lives.
And that's the big trick in teaching or training, is to make it transferable to the clients so they have the same results. And in many cases, better results depending upon what they're actually doing.
And if they're open up to it as well.
Right.
So how can people reach you to actually, have a lesson with you, or to
help
them get to where they want to get.
Okay. If you want to call me, you can call me on my cell, which is 702-748-3586, or you can go to www.sm3success.com. SM3 stands for Sales, Marketing, Management, and Mindset Control and Development, really.
Very talented young man. This is somebody you really need to get in touch with if you feel you can make yourself better or understand yourself, because you have to understand yourself before you can get anybody else to understand you, if you know what I mean. I'm still trying to understand myself, but I'm doing quite well. I'm doing all right. Am I okay?
Yes.
Tim,
you're
amazing.
More than okay.
I love that. I love that. We'll be right back with the next guest. Take care.